My name is LSwinney, and today I will be discussing unethical behavior of educators as it relates to the three hot topic issues: inappropriate behavior with students, social networking with students, and the cheating of educators on state assessment of students. So, what is unethical behavior? It can be defined as lacking moral principles or unwilling to adhere to proper rules of conduct. Educators are held to a high standard, and when they break the ethical code, it is big news and everyone is interested in the details. There is no lack of information on the unethical behavior of educators. A quick search online, and one can find hundreds of newspaper articles, blog posts, and local news stories about the latest failure of an educator to act ethically. So, as I stated earlier, the hot topics that we will be covering are cheating of educators for their students, the use of social media with teachers and students, and inappropriate sexual behavior among teachers and students. So, what causes teachers to cheat for their students? Cheating among teachers is not a behavior that's expected, especially when the cheating is on the student's test. One of the biggest teachers' cheating scandals happened in the Atlanta public school system. This scandal had guilty educators from the superintendent to teachers and administrators. It seems we must go back to the No Child Left Behind bill to understand why this cheating may have started. The superintendent of the Atlanta Public Schools, Beverly Hall, to be compliant with the No Child Left Behind rules, offered bonuses to teachers whose students scored above the minimum standards. If the district scored well, she also received a bonus. Teachers whose scores did not improve, were often terminated. This led to a culture of cheating within the school system. So, why is it so important for these teachers, administrators, and superintendents to improve test scores that they would act unethically? The answer is the high standards set that affect the teachers' jobs. There is also the issue of bonuses for improving test scores. There's clearly no excuse for educators to cheat or act unethically, but trying to meet the standards can be overwhelming for teachers, administrators, and for the superintendent. So, can a teacher and student be friends on social media? Technology has been an excellent addition to the classroom, but with the increase in use of all types of technology, it can be challenging for teachers to keep clear lines between themselves and students. It is important to keep the relationship between teachers and students professional. Teachers should try to keep social media clean and not share personal information on an account that is open to the public. Teachers can get themselves in trouble using social media. Students may think, it would be fun to connect with their teachers online, but this would prove to have more risk than benefits for the teachers. There are ways for teachers and students to communicate without having private conversations. There are apps that can be used that are monitored by the school, and this would be an appropriate way for teachers and students to communicate when it comes to educational needs. The next question, the topic that we looked at, was why do teachers act inappropriately with their students? So just as we discussed a second ago, this goes back to social media. And social media may play a significant role in the unethical behavior of educators. Student-teacher relationships are on the rise in recent years. Researchers believe the reason is that social media has made it easier for students and teachers to communicate. Alabama is one of the states with the highest rate of inappropriate teacher-student contact. The most recent cases in our county involved 2 male teachers charged with sexual contact with 2 female students. The sheriff of the county was quoted as saying, "They have college classes in ethics. The school system has training about this as well. They just chose to break the law and to not have good moral character." This is where a few bad apples come in. He went on to say that over 1,200 students in the county school system, and that it's a shame that 2 men who decided to break the law can hurt the reputation of the entire system. So, what do we need to do with this information? While none of the unethical behavior we've discussed can be excused or even understood, it can help educators if we bring awareness and better educate future teachers of the dangers of these behaviors. Educators must always be aware of their circumstances and not put themselves in situations that could lead to this type of moral failure. In most of the situations, I don't think the educators set out to be involved in an unethical situation. Most seem to just let themselves get wrapped up in a bad circumstance, and then they found themselves on the wrong side of the law. In conclusion, even though they may not have intended to end up on this side of the legal system, the cheaters and abusers of that we have discussed must be made to pay for their crimes. Thank you for your time and listening to my presentation.